Guys, I am back. You probably don't believe it, but here I am standing with a camera in my hand once again, filming a video. It has been over a year since I picked up a camera. What a wild full year and a half it has been for me. Literally all the craziest, the just biggest things that could happen to a person in life all happened at once for me. Got married, had our first kid a few months back, and unfortunately had to kick leukemia square in the nuts again. But I'm healthy. Took a long process to get here. I'm feeling great. I'm actually going to make a video separately from this discussing all that has happened in the last 18 months. It is up on YouTube, so go check it out. But we're going to get back to work on the RM back here. It has been sitting for the past year, have not touched it, covered in dust. So we're going to dust it off, get to work. I've got some fun stuff to do to that thing today. But before we get to work, I want to say thank you to all of you for sticking with me. I knew I would make a comeback. It has always been very special to me to film these videos and share the process with you guys and connect with all of you over bikes. And so that's what I've been fighting for to get back to this point. And for me, it's a huge win to even just be standing here filming a video for you guys. And so everything beyond this just can be a bonus. So thanks again for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. And we're gonna do some cool stuff together over the next few months and few years. So let's get to work and get this whole party started. So today's project, we're gonna be freshening up the pipe and silencer for this RM. Got a shorty silencer. I think this is a gnarly pipe. Nope, it's fatty pipe, FMF. It's really not too bad. A couple little dents here. On the other side, but it's a little bit kinked right here, and so I am going to work on this with a pipe repair kit. I've actually never done this before. Now I could just go buy a new pipe and silencer, but I like refreshing old crusty stuff. So got this pipe repair kit off eBay. I'm sure you guys have seen these before. Pipe repairs have been around for probably 50 years or so, but this kit looks pretty complete. It's like $100 on eBay. This basically clamps onto one end of the pipe, and you got this on the other. So let's bolt it up and see how this thing works. So it looks like the gauge side goes on the header pipe. Let's see, it's got a bigger hole. One of the smaller hole goes on the silencer side. So it looks like you mount up the clamp first onto the pipe. Now I'm probably going to want to go behind this lip here. It's more of a lip and that'll stay put better than this one here. There's not much of a ridge there. It also comes with these collars in case this doesn't clamp down all the way. It looks like we're going to have to use them. Obviously you want the thick or the flange side of the collar facing in like that. Looks like that'll grip real nice. And then the gauge just bolts right on. These bolts might be a little bit short. Yeah, they're not quite long enough. I'm gonna have to grab some longer bolts. Let's put on the other end real quick. Pretty much the same process it looks like. And on this one, we have a mount right here. There's really nowhere to mount it right here. So gonna have to go behind the mount. This side also has a couple collars as well in case you need it. Looks like this one will clamp down just fine. This is the end where you add in all the air. Yeah, these bolts are gonna be too short as well. They also did provide a little longer bolt. Let's see if this will work. Not quite long enough, so I'm gonna have to get new bolts anyways. But one thing I was thinking about is when you heat up the pipe, there's gonna be a bunch of oil deposits in here. And when you heat that up, that's all gonna turn into basically lava. And when you let out the pressure, that's gonna spray out everywhere. And so I'm gonna clean the inside of the pipe before we even get started with this, just so that way I don't have to deal with that. And it's nice to have a cleaned out pipe anyways. And obviously we're gonna be heating up this pipe, so we wanna pull off any seals, O-rings. Looks like we've got an O-ring here. Pull that off. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna take a MAP gas torch, put it in this end, add some compressed air, and just blow all that oil out along with the heat. See if it works. Safety first, boys and girls. Let's have some fun. The compressed air didn't really work, it just blew out the flame. That is hot. Ow. Whew. Imagine that. New idea. We're gonna take a little bit of gasoline, put it in the pipe, maybe draw a little trail and fire it up, see what happens. Whoa.
There it goes.
Well, from my observation, gasoline burns, so I think it's working.
Done screwing around now?
Yeah. Well, that might have worked a little bit, but there's definitely still some oil in there. So I'm actually just gonna pop it in the powder coating oven and just let it burn all that out. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go grab some new bolts for the clamps here. Hopefully the pipe fits in here. It looks like it will. Oh yeah, money. Just don't do that in your household oven. You're gonna smoke out the house and probably piss off your wife. And this is why you don't want to burn your pipe out in your house. See the blue haze in here? Oh, yeah, I don't want to breathe that in. I'm out of here. Pipe's been in here for about an hour. Let's check on it. Still smoking, not quite as bad as it was before, but I'm gonna pull it out and let this thing cool down outside and hopefully burn the rest of it out. You can actually add gravel or small pebbles to the pipe, something with like sharp edges to it to help break up that carbon. I don't know how well it's actually gonna work. Oh yeah. It looks pretty clean coming out, so I'm gonna call that good. We can actually move on to repairing this pipe. We've got the pipe repair kit mounted up. These longer bolts ended up working out just perfect. Actually, I had to add a little nut here just to space it out so that way I had enough thread. Ended up getting grade 8 bolts. I know they won't break on me. Now I'm gonna make sure this is pushed all the way to the bracket, tighten down the clamp, and then finish it off by snugging down the seal on the end. And then the same steps on the front here. We are ready for action. I'm gonna put it into the vise here. So we're gonna add 30 PSI just to make sure everything's sealed up. And obviously, safety first, you wanna have some glasses on your head to protect your head. All right, we are at 30. Looks like it's holding. My heart's starting to race a little bit. I only have 50 PSI and I'm getting kinda, never done this before, so I'm a little sketched out. People say you can go over 100 no problem. I'm just gonna slowly work my way up to 100, but I've been through enough pain in my life. I'm gonna set up some sort of backstop here just in case something happens. Let's go figure something out. What do you think? Should work? I'm gonna hide behind this thing like a little girl. I need a peephole though. This piece of OSB is probably worth more than the pipe.
There's my board.
Where's your board? You got a wall to hide behind over there. I ain't scared. So the dent I'm chasing is right here. I'm gonna take the torch and just start to heat up around the outside of it and move to the center, and hopefully that'll push out with only 50 PSI. If it's not moving, I'm just gonna keep adding pressure. It looks like it's popping out.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit more. We're at 75 PSI. Dude, the OSB it's like a false sense of security. Like, oh, I got a piece of OSB here. This is probably what it feels like to wear a mask, huh? Like, I'm protected, but not really. All right, I'm gonna go up to 100 PSI here. So this dent looks like it came out pretty good. It ain't perfect, but it's right on the weld, so I don't know how much more I'm gonna work on that. I have it at 100 PSI right now, but I'm gonna move on to this kink in the pipe. Probably gonna start with a little less pressure than 100 and see where we end up. It's actually got a little pinhole, as you can see. Dude, that might actually be good.
Oh,
Smoking a cig there, eh?
Smoking a pancake.
Fucking
money.
I think I'm gonna call that good.
You can always bend the mounts if they're not right.
You could, yeah. Let's give it a little bit more
Heat.
Yeah, maybe. Let's go until we break it and then back it off a little bit. Well, we got that little kink out. There's a tiny pinhole in the pipe. I'm just gonna have to add a little weld right there. But I'm gonna pull the repair kit off of here and test fit it on the bike. Make sure everything lines up. It's looking pretty good. That looks right. Cool. Looks like the pipe fits good. It's got a few more dents to pop out. See if these ones will come out now. So we ended up with a little leak right here. Won't hold pressure. We tried adding some duct tape, but it ain't gonna stick. So we're gonna have to get this welded. Yo, I need your welding expertise.
Let's see what you got. You gotta grind your plating and everything off. Weld probably. Oh, right on the side of that weld.
Yeah, just a little pinhole. Damn.
Just finished her today.
Look at that thing. Holy smokes. Burnt bronze.
Burnt bronze, Cerakote.
Got these side draft carbs.
I was debating
Going in that truck.
Debating coating the head, but dude.
Hi.
Appreciate it, bro.
Oh yeah, anytime.
Check out his builds. He's building, what is this, 78, 77? 77 Hilux. You saw the motor that's going in it. I will link his channel down below. He also builds some other badass stuff. 4Runner, Tacoma. Check it out.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Austin got those holes welded up and looking good. Let's put the fittings back on and see if she seals up. Pressure seems to be holding fine at about 70. So let's give some heat to these dents here and see what we can do. Those dents came out pretty decent. They're not perfect. I don't know how much more I want to push it. Something I thought of that'll help with seeing where the dents are is just to mark them out. I'm gonna mark out all these little dings. So I'm gonna call that good. The pipe turned out probably 95% there. On this edge here, it's a little bit wavy. I spent so much time trying to smooth this out. It just wouldn't come out completely. There was some pretty creased dents right here, so that's pretty good considering that. The pinch turned out beautiful. Ow, that's still really hot. It's like the 10th time I burnt myself. The pinch right here came out just fine. And so basically I found the sweet spot is around 80 to 100 PSI and actually got it to 120 PSI with no problems. Obviously use or do that at your own risk because, you know, differing pipes could have different results, like a different wall thickness. If you're using a stock pipe, it might be thinner. So who knows how it'll hold up past 100. I personally probably wouldn't go over 100 on most pipes after doing it with this one, because I noticed there's a few spots, if I got it really hot, it actually bulged the pipe a little bit. You can see right here, there's a slight bulge. I had probably 110 PSI in there and just got it red hot, and it kind of pushed it out a little bit. But overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this pipe turned out. It's well worth the investment to pop these dents out. I mean, I could go buy a new pipe, but this was a lot more fun. And as a quick disclaimer, what I showed here is what worked for me. I'm not saying go add 100 or 120 PSI into your pipe. Obviously you want to just work up, start at maybe 60, go to 80, but if you blow your face off with 120 PSI, it ain't my problem. Also, one more thing, a lot of pipes have a little relief dent on the backside here for the radiator, and so you don't want to blow these ones out. It looks like this one, maybe it's a relief, maybe it's not, but it sure looks like it's for clearance for the radiator, so I'm gonna keep that one. One more thing to note is the little tiny dings are probably the hardest to get out, and that's where I experienced the bulging in the pipe. So these ones right here, just like a rock ding. If you heat that up too much, you'll bulge it like I did right here. And so basically what I did was 100 PSI or 80 PSI, get it red hot. If it doesn't come out, you're just gonna have to leave it, or else you risk doing more damage by bulging the pipe there. So with this pipe, I'm actually gonna strip it all the way down, get all the nickel plating off of it. But if you wanted to preserve the nickel plating on your pipe, you can actually polish out all this bluing. And while you're at it, you could just get rid of some of the rust too. I'm gonna throw some wheels on the bench grinder and see if I can clean this up. So that was just stage one. It's a number 2 wheel with a green compound. You can see it came out pretty good, but it's not like that full mirror look. And I'm gonna take it to step 2 with a little finer wheel and different compound here. This is a number 3. You can see it's a little bit more loose. It doesn't look too shabby. I'm gonna give it a little wipe down and see if it looks a little bit more shiny. Still got some compound on there. It's not too bad at all. Yeah, you can kind of see where I bulged it right here, and also where the crease of the dent was, or like the scrape of the dent. But overall, that looks like 98% back to like a original nickel finish. So I started with a number 2 wheel and the green compound. That kind of brought out all the scratches and brought the finish back. And if you want that little extra pop, go for the number 3 wheel and the white compound. And I will have these linked down below in the description if you want to check them out. Now, if you have rust specks like you see on this pipe here, this is actually a different pipe. The other one doesn't have much rust on it, but I want to show you guys, you can actually clean that up with the polishing wheel as well. About 5 seconds on the machine. You can see how that turned out. Cleaned it right up. No problem at all. So that is the number 2 wheel with the green compound. One other thing I wanted to show you guys as well, if you want to give this pipe a brush look but you don't want to strip this plating will actually protect the pipe from rusting. You can just brush right over that nickel plating. It actually takes quite a bit of effort to actually strip that plating. And what we're going to be using to give this pipe a brush look is a fine cleaning wheel that also mounts on the bench grinder. That cleaned up the plating pretty good, but didn't go through the plating. If you go through the plating, you'll notice it's a lot darker. So if you're gonna use a abrasive wheel on a pipe, the best way to make it look uniform is go in the same direction all the way around the pipe. And then when you get to some of the tighter areas, you might have to use an attachment for a die grinder or a Dremel. Now, just so you guys are aware, this finer wheel won't actually eat through the plating on the pipe. It'll take something more aggressive like a rough cleaning wheel to actually go through that plating, and it still takes quite a bit of effort. So I'm gonna put this wheel on the grinder. So right there, you can notice it's a little bit darker. That is raw steel, whereas the shinier parts around it is still nickel. Now, if you're wanting to bring your pipe down to the raw steel again and heat treat the welds and bring out some colors, you can use this rougher wheel, or you could use sandblasting. An aluminum oxide will strip this plating, probably like a 60 to 80 grit, somewhere around there. Now, one thing to note about heat treating the welds, you actually won't get any color out of this if you don't strip the nickel first, which I'll actually cover in the next video. I'm gonna be doing that to the other pipe I'm working on. This is just a test pipe I have laying around. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are aware, but I actually sell these abrasive wheels and polishing wheels on my website, primemx.com. If you guys want to try them out, if you're working on a pipe or really any other project, these things are nice for a lot of different uses. I have something to sweeten the deal. Let's head up to the office and I'll show you what I got cooking. Make sure you kick your grimy shoes off. We like to keep it pretty tidy up here. But I've got a few shirts here that I am doing a giveaway with. These ones have been sitting in a bin in the corner for a while, and I found some that I would like to do a giveaway with. Got 5 different styles of shirts here. A red prime, just simple prime on the front. 2 stoked, built not bought in red. CR, says CR on the front, has a picture of the CR250 printed on the back. And make 2 strokes great again. Only have a few sizes of this one. Should have most sizes of the other ones, I believe. Now, if you want to grab one of these shirts off the website, just head over to primemx.com. This is the homepage. Click on Deal of the Month. I'm going to be doing these deals once a month. You'll see the 5 shirts right here on this page. Now, these shirts are free with any order over $40 on the store. So what you're going to want to do to pick up one of these shirts, browse the store, maybe snag some cleaning wheels, the ones we're using throughout the video, or perhaps some polishing wheels, polishing compounds. They even come in a kit right here. So add those items, $40 or more, to the cart, and then head over to this Deal of the Month page. Pick out the shirt that you want, and you must add the shirt to the shopping cart in order to get it. So that is the deal I've got for you guys. Thank you for supporting Prime, and thank you for supporting an American small business. Now, originally in this video, I was gonna go through and refinish the pipe and the silencer, but I got a little carried away and the video is already at 20 minutes long. So I'm gonna save that for the following video, but I wanted to show you guys how those dents popped out. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna give you a little preview of how the pipe turned out. So these are the dents that were on the header portion of the pipe. You can see they didn't come all the way out. They're pretty decent compared to what they looked like before. I mean, there's just these little divots basically where the pipe was impacted. So it is pretty tough to get it perfect, but it's like 95% there, I would say. I mean, if you zoom out and look at it from a few feet away, it looks pretty good. I'm just zoomed all the way in, so you can see every little imperfection there. But overall, got to be happy with it. And this is where that very first dent was. Can't really tell it was ever there. So that one came out beautifully. And here's a little preview of how the silencer turned out. You guys are not going to want to miss the next video. If you guys want to pick up one of these pipe repair kits, I will have it linked down below. Like I said, found it on eBay. This is not a sponsored product, just something I bought with my own money and want to review for you guys. And also any other products we use throughout the video, polishing wheels, abrasive wheels, that t-shirt giveaway, I'll have it linked down below as well. And this bike is going to be given away when it's all finished up. If you would like to enter It is free of charge to enter, no strings attached. Just hit the link down below in the description. Now, one last thing I didn't really cover too much in the video was how much to heat up the pipe when you're popping out those dents. So I basically went until the pipe was red hot, maybe even held it on there for a second or two longer. But I just wasn't comfortable going any further than that because I noticed in some areas the pipe was actually bulging slightly. Now, maybe that's more of a pressure thing and not a heat thing. As I use the kit more, I'll probably get it more dialed in and figure it out better. Now, I have heard of people going beyond red hot on the pipe, even heating it to the point to where it's like white. Like I said, I just wasn't comfortable going to that point, but maybe it's something I'll test on a junk pipe like the one I was working on in the grinding room, and I'll let you guys know how that goes if it doesn't blow my face off. Well, that is going to wrap up this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun tackling this dent repair. It was something that was a little daunting for me. I didn't want to add a bunch of pressure to a pipe and heat it up. I was not really wanting to blow things up, but turned out pretty good. Hopefully this video inspires you guys to get out in the garage and work on your pipes. If you're going to be popping out dents, just make sure you err on the side of caution. It really isn't worth getting all jacked up over a used pipe. You know, if you want to create a backstop like I did with the plywood, or just keep the pressure or the temperature low, always a good idea. Just isn't worth getting your face smashed in by a pipe. So anyways, that is going to be the video. Thank you for watching. Glad I did this video for you guys, and you're gonna want to stay tuned for the next video where we refinish the pipe and silencer. Let me just say, stuff looks sweet. See you guys there.